past March at the ING Georgia Marathon. I was the first double amputee, below the knee double amputee to ever complete a full marathon on prosthetics. And then, as you saw on the film there, I was actually trying to attempt to become the first double amputee on prosthetics to ever complete a full Ironman. And so a little small little bike rack with a few little bone fragments, and it kind of kept me from accomplishing my goal. But like I said in the video, is that I gave it all I got, and that's really what my message is really about, is just being active and doing what you can, doing the best you can, and just don't quit. And so my kind of journey started 21 years ago. I was 18 years old. I was sitting on the back of a toolbox of a pickup truck with two of my best friends from high school. We were working on a landscaping job. We were pulling a flatbed trailer with two big industrial lawnmowers on the back, and we were heading down the road, actually heading back into lunch. And then this 18-wheeler had been following us for about 10 miles and decided he got a little impatient and decided he wanted to pass us. So he actually passed us on a no passing zone, the break of a curve, a double yellow line, and a narrow bridge up ahead. And so when he reached the bridge, as he was passing our vehicle, he didn't think he was going to have enough room to actually clear the bridge on the grass side, so he moved over the yellow line. When he did, he had a collision with our vehicle, and I got knocked off. And my friend in the middle grabbed my other friend, or he would have been crushed between the side of the truck and the bridge. Well, by then, I was holding on the side of the truck. I couldn't hold on anymore. We were going about 45 miles an hour. And my legs got caught underneath the trailer, and I literally dragged down the road over 328 feet before my friend in the middle could beat on the back of the glass to tell the driver to stop. Well, so they did stop, and here's kind of the miracle of my story. It was rural South Georgia in 1986 in a very unpopulated area. We could have been 5 or 6 miles from the nearest house, and we actually landed in between two houses. The reason that's important is because this was before cell phones and text messaging, pagers, and all that kind of stuff. We didn't even have a CB in our truck. And so we landed between two houses so that they could call the ambulance at the local hospital. Local hospital was only 12 miles away, as opposed to 35 or 40 miles away, because we were in a rural farming community. The truck driver behind the truck driver that actually hit us was a former paramedic, so he was helping out with my injuries and just kind of keeping everybody calm. But then the thing that, one of the things that saved my life was the trailer tire actually was flat. Our flatbed trailer tire was flat, and it landed on my right leg, right above my ankle. Well, it was good, and it was bad. 6,000 pounds laying on my leg, so that was bad. But it was good because I had a tourniquet, so I didn't bleed to death. But I had this problem with all this weight on me that I couldn't lift off of me, or even a life flight helicopter could arrive, or 10 ambulances, if they would arrive, they wouldn't have been able to get this weight off of me. Well, the one thing I needed to save my life was actually, Bubba the tow truck driver. And where am I going to find him in 1986, rural South Georgia? It's lunchtime. Where am I going to find a tow truck? Well, one just happened to arrive. And so that's kind of like he had just arrived out of nowhere. No one to this day, it's been 21 years, no one called him. No one knows where he came from. He was kind of for you guys who remember Highway to Heaven, he was kind of my Michael Landon experience. He just happened to show up out of nowhere and lifted the weight off of me. They took me to the hospital. I had my right leg removed there, and then they shipped me to Crawford Long in Atlanta. I had 7 surgeries and 8 surgeries in 6 weeks. I had 17 in a year, and then I went off to college. And went through college and had several more surgeries. Graduated from the University of Georgia, and for about over a 12-year period, I had up 25 surgeries up to 1997, and I just decided, I didn't want to be a professional patient anymore. So I wanted to resign from that. So I actually was having problems with my left leg, and had some reconstructive surgery to my left leg. And so the only way to be able to solve that problem was to actually try to remove the left leg below the knee. And so like I do before any big decisions. I prayed and said, hey God, if this is not part of your plan for me, then don't let it happen. But if it is, then let it happen. And so June 22nd, 1998, I took off my right leg below the knee. I chose to take it off. Well, not knowing whether it was a good decision or not, I just prayed, trusted God. Well, 6 weeks later, I ran foot over foot, just like you saw me running in the video. So then what do you do? Well, I've been a professional patient all my life. I'm 30 years old. I don't really, I've kind of just worked odd jobs, and I was kind of having analysis paralysis and just trying to figure out what am I doing here? Now I've been saved from this accident. What have I been doing here? So I didn't really get the answer then, but I just, kind of knew I needed to get a job, and so one of my best friends from high school and his wife helped me get back on my feet again. I worked in a sales job, and then I went from entry level to, within 2 years, I became one of the top salespeople, actually the 19th ranked salesperson in that company within 2 years. So then I was like, well, this really isn't really what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm just kind of doing it and kind of going through the motions of life. Well, if you go through the motions of life long enough, sooner or later you're just going to get exhausted because you just simply kind of exist. Thoreau says that most men lead a life of quiet desperation. And so in December, or right around the fall of 2005, that was me. I was living a life of quiet desperation. And I didn't really know my purpose, but I was very frustrated. I was kind of angry at God. And, I thank you for allowing, thank you for saving me. And I've got this great story, but, I don't feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing here. I'm very frustrated with you because I have this ability to be able to run on prosthetics. Like, I don't know anybody in the country that can run like I do. Long distance wise or have the balance or whatever, but I'm frustrated because you haven't rolled out the carpet, Nike isn't calling me, and so I just had a terrible attitude. And so really what I wanted him to do is roll out the carpet. I didn't have any faith at all. I wanted him to say, give me the endorsements and all this kind of stuff and just roll out the carpet. Well, for whatever, I didn't even pick triathlon. I just I had to get over my bad attitude, so it took about 2 or 3 years. Thank God I'm not an Israelite like in the old days where it took 40 years. I'd be old and gray. And so anyway, but what happened was about 2005, I kind of got my attitude right and said, okay, laying on the floor of my parents' house, and my mom's a very devout Christian, and said, hey, would you just pray for me? And said, I really want, God to be able to fulfill His purpose in my life. And so I just prayed and said, hey, God will make a deal if you open up the doors for me, if you'll open up doors for me to fulfill my purpose, I'll run through those. And so obviously, like you said, like you saw me on the video, if you didn't get a chance to hear it when they were interviewing me on the bike, I said, be careful what you pray for, because I've been doing a lot of running. And so, so that's really kind of the start of my journey.